Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week we're looking at Uhbik 2 from Yuhi. And for those who don't know, Uhbik 2 is essentially a pack of 10 effects, 10 quite common and standard effects, but they're all exceptionally well done. As you can see here on screen, we have ambience, compressor, delay, EQ, flanger, grain shift, phaser, run citer, shifter, and tremolo. And best of all, if you already own Uhbik 1, this is a free upgrade. The changes from version 1 include a new modulation system, there's a new compressor module, there is also full surround sound support, the interface has been refreshed and upgraded, as well as the algorithms for improved sound quality, and there is also clap support if that interests you. So let's have a look at them individually then. I just have a kind of techno bare bones project going here. Let's just start with a bit of a loop and a kick without any plugins on. This is what we have going. Then there are other channels here, like something like the pad, for example. So we may apply some of these Uhbik effects to some of these channels. Now the first thing I'm going to do, we have this top loop going. So let's open up the ambience module. Now the ambience module is a reverb, if that isn't already obvious. Just by looking at this interface, you can see immediately that it is exceptionally well laid out and clear. So moving from left to right, input gain I think is self-explanatory. We have a pre-delay for the reverb to come on. We have a low pass and a high pass filter. We have this orange square in the middle here, which is for the early reflections, as you can see highlighted by this arrow here, followed by the dial, so you can choose the mix between the early and late reflections, and then moving on to the right, we have the late reflections, which comes down to this grey box down the bottom here. And then in the middle here, we have 4 different types of models: small, direct, open, and natural. And then moving over to the right, we have our modulation section. So at the top, we have an envelope, and then the bottom, we have an LFO. In the middle, we have our scope, as it says, obviously, and then we can decide what we want to view. So pitch wheel, for example, we can have envelope here. So really a lot of visibility. And in terms of setting up the modulation, it is as simple as just dragging the parameter to the knob or to the function that you want to modulate. And then once you've done that, you can see the modulation down the bottom here. So here we have a rising envelope attached to the early and late mix. So I think here, we're going to go through some of the presets and we'll find one that we like on our top loop here. Obviously we're not going to go that high, let's keep it around 30%, right click and we'll do lock. Let's maybe choose natural, see how that sounds. Or open. Direct, and we'll turn down the decay a bit. Let's bypass it. So overall, I think that it just sits a lot better. It's not as bright and it's not in your face. The ambience reverb is one that isn't really there for effect per se. It's more one you can feel and not hear. So let's put this back now and let's listen with that kick. We'll get rid of our pad, that's very annoying. Very nice, let's keep that. Next we'll move on to the compressor. I think this one, let's put this on the master. Now this is the new module in version 2, and to be honest, a lot of the controls are standard compressor controls. So if you know your way around a compressor, there isn't really much to explain here, other than I guess inflation, which adds some saturation to the input. Very, very nice. So let's play back our loop and we'll turn up the inflation and maybe play around with this compressor also to dial in some settings that we like. So we'll start with the inflation. Let's start around there, adding a bit of grit to the inputs. Down the threshold. Ratio, let's start around 2:1. That's way too much, let's back that off. In the middle we have an adaptive release control, so essentially all the way to the left you have the release time determined by this knob here, or if you have it all the way to the right it then becomes self-adaptive. Let's keep it in the middle though, I do like having the best of both worlds. Bypass. I think that's working, we don't want to go too crazy on it. Alright, so let's now move on to the next one, which is the delay. For this one I'm going to use this channel here, which is an effects loop, this ambient thing. So let's drop on Uhbik delay. I'm not quite sure why I need to keep on changing the zoom here. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me. That's quite annoying. Now the delay here is a 5-channel tap delay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each of these 5 delays features a different delay time, panning options, and then level. And then they get fed into the modulation. And here you can choose between 2 different types, flutter or LFO. Flutter is more of that tape kind of, well, fluttering sound. And then you also have the LFO. And then looking at this now, perhaps it's just my childish brain, but having these 2 dials here followed by this arrow here, not the best design choice in my mind. Now to be honest, tap delays I don't really get along with. I find setting them up is a bit of a faff. So I think this one is going to be my least used module. Despite sounding absolutely fantastic, I just really don't have the time to be faffing around setting it up. So here, let's go to some of the presets and we're going to go through them and just find out which one sounds best on this loop that we had earlier. Put the mix up to the middle. Once again, we'll lock this. Ping Pong 1/8 offset I think sounds the best so far. Not bad, but not really what we're going for. So I think we said Ping Pong offset was the one we liked the most. And that's sounding quite good. Let's move on to the next one now, which is the EQ. And here we'll also put this on that FX loop that we had earlier. Once again, the zoom is annoying me. Now the EQ is one of the most basic of the bunch. We have 3 different channels here. So we have the low band, band 1, and then band 2. So the bottom is a low shelf. We have this FX loop. So let's put this on 350. We want it quite high. And then we'll take out quite a lot. Let's go down around there. Actually, let's take it all out. We will play this back. Let's add a bit of air to that, so we have a high shelf here. Take it down around, let's go around 4, 5, 6K. Boost that a bit. And then we'll add a bit of mid. In fact, let's take that out, I think. Let's see what it sounds like. And then we'll bring this one down. We have a low cut here. Let's put this on quite high, 230. High cut we don't want. We want the brightness. Bypass. Just makes it a bit less in your face, I think. Let's move on to the next one now, which is the flanger. And here, I think I'm going to put this on the pad that we had earlier. So once again, let's go through some presets on this. And as we do this, I'll go through some of the parameters. I'll increase the phase to offset the left and right. This thing really does sound amazing. I do prefer the sound of normal to eco. It just sounds like it's being twisted and torn and stretched and broken. Absolutely love it. Let's add our kickback. And now we've had our fun, let's listen to some more presets. Concentric rift. Quite like that. And that. NTSC, I do hope there's a PAL one next. Unfortunately not. I think the favorite was... I don't know, let's have a listen again. Let's leave it on whimper because we're going to continue with this pad for the next module, grain shift. So over to the left is our grain size. So big grain size or very small grain size. Iteration is where in the sound it is taking that snapshot of that grain from. Offset is the delay or negative delay, if that makes sense, for where the snapshot is being taken from. Then below that we have the scale, and then the semitones of those little grains. I love this module. I think it's going to be my favorite. Just insanity. Let's go through some presets. Let's put our flanger back on. Next up, we have the phaser. And I think I might put this on the synth line, which sounds like this. And like I said, in the flanger module, it features the same display here. So once you're familiar with one, you're familiar with all the time-based effects. So let's go through some presets. And as I'm doing that, I'll change the different modes here, and we'll see which one works best on this synth line. Deep 14. I don't know, some phases are subtle. This one certainly is not. Let's copy our EQ over here. Let's put that as well. Just take out a bit of lows. Next we have Run Sizer, which is essentially a filter. Now what I really love about this is in the middle here, the fuzz and the color options. So let's go with bandpass. Let's turn bandpass up. We will turn fuzz and color up. We're just playing back this synth loop. You will see a little shield up here that is telling us that we're clipping on the output, but that is fine because it does feature soft clipping on the output. But we'll just turn the output down just a little bit, just so it's not fully driven. Here on state variable mode, put it back on classic. In fact, let's take this filter and we're going to put it on the master and see what shenanigans we can get up to. Close all these so it's not confusing. I'm going to take it off this synth that we had earlier. So now it's only on the master. We'll put back these two loops. This would sound awesome in a breakdown. Let's move on. Let's take this off the output. Now we'll go to a frequency shifter. Now here let's go through some presets just to give you an idea. I think that's the best way to explain this module. I'm going to take off the phaser and we'll leave the EQ on. All that's doing is cutting out the low frequencies, so that's not impacting the sound too much. So this is dry. Just you can hear, it goes all the way from really quite subtle stereo effects to just mayhem. Loving that. Add this kind of stretching and pulling, twisting kind of vibe to it. And let's move on to the final one now. For this, I'm going to use the pad, and this is the tremolo. Once again, 210. Once again, it's annoying me. And this one is quite self-explanatory. It is a tremolo. So essentially just volume modulation, to put it very, very simplistically. One of the best features on this is the Haas delay, so we can set up a left and right split. So it's really good for creating mono-compatible stereo effects. Once again, let's go straight through some presets. We'll start with Alligator. And like I said, this one is on the pad. So now you can hear it bouncing left to right. To be honest, I quite like that, but we'll keep on going. So there we have it, Uhbik 2 from Yuhi. An incredibly versatile set of effects, and they all sound absolutely fantastic. Some of them I think I'll use more than others. Ones like the tremolo, probably won't use that much, but ones like the grain shift and phaser, I think will be on every single project from now on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.